obviously you have to maintain it to some extent, but I'm not going to maintain it to a level like a normal road would be, because obviously being in the yard, it wouldn't need to be maintained too often and too much, because obviously things will get overgrown as you use it. As you can see, it's just looking strange at the moment. Where's the phone? The phone. Here it is. He says, try not to drop it. So, moving the locos out of the way, or trading in cars for them. We'll pop the camera down. We'll use the glue gun in a minute. So yeah, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it out, but this section here is going to be a field of yard for cars. So it will come off the side of this road and straight onto that. There'll be a little gate to entrance. And then things like the signal box for junction for the points basically going from the yard to the inner line, and it will go on the outer line if it needs to get one of those sort of things to build up speed and things. So it's pretty cool anyway. So what do I need to do now? Well, what I need to do now, the benefit of doubt for me at the moment, I've got to put the fence in next, and the glue gun to have to bring over for it. The grass will be, the grass for soil and stuff. That will be put in later. I'm going to build a hillside right around between the signal box and obviously between the station area. Just build a little one right around to near the station, and that way I can sort of build it up, and then make some sort of special arch in between the hillside, so that way, if it needed, it can walk through that arch for a. It will be used for the benefit of workers will walk in there, using it for what they need to use it for, and then just over that. So that way, everyone can watch what the car is doing and things like that. So that'd be pretty cool. Sorting myself out at the moment, ready for the fencing. And the first fencing I've got in hand is all the stuff I buy from B&Q or Homebase. Again, something I recommend to anyone who's looking to make extended layout to like a proper model alley. But I'm just using sections of different lines. I'm not using main lines. I'm just basically using heritage lines ideas. So Bodmin Parkway and Bodmin Central are the things I'm mostly aiming at. But there's a place on Dartmoor. I looked at the yard and looking at the backdrops with the old Butcher's Rail stuff, rolling stock, and the couple of the first mark intercity old coaches, the blue and the white. Is it the blue and white, the old intercity? No, that's British Rail. The black and the grey one, the black and the white is the intercity. But I think the blue ones are intercity as well. I think there's some that are intercity livery in blue. But yeah. Anyway, I'm going to move the camera out of the way and move them out of the sections, so I'm not distracting to anything. I'm just moving the camera out of the way while I'm benefit of putting these things together, because obviously these things do take time to put together. I've got to do my best to try to in line with the other one as much as possible, because that way also let me know in the comments below if any of you guys miss school or college or anything, because to me I just don't take the miss college at all. Because obviously the experience I had at college with some teachers and some students I had there weren't the best. And how you get treated at that college wasn't the ideal place for new students, that's for sure. How people get treated there wasn't the best for any new person who should be there. But there's not much you can do about it at the end of the day, because people are people in the end. And you get some people just really set in their ways, so to say. I mean, I'm certainly, you know, I'm not going to lie to the fact I do commit to things I do enjoy, but I know that I'm a way to cause trouble. Because, I mean, personally to me, I don't see the point in trying to go out my way to cause trouble, because it does, all it does to you is it gets you in trouble by, possibly by the law, or other things like getting someone hurt or anything like that. But to me, I wouldn't get involved with most people anyway, because at the end of the day, it's not worth it. You're better off just keeping yourself safe and keeping yourself happy. And then, to those who are trying to cause you, trying to make your life miserable, well, they don't mean anything to you at the end of the day. To those that cause trouble in your life, all you can do is say goodbye to them and just move on. What I'll probably do. And so that's what I actually did when I left college. I left all the bad people I didn't like, and left that part of me left all behind, and not think about it anymore, because I wasn't happy at college. I wasn't particularly cheerful. I constant still for a while, but I guarantee it, just before I left college, just before I left college, I left in 2015, the end of 2015, just after my basically the first year of my YouTube channel. I started with iTrains Class 87 reviews when I just left college that year. Wow, can't believe it was so long ago. And then a year later we got some paperwork through, or I went up to Dutchy College and get the paperwork, and they just rung up and said, do you want the paperwork still, or do you want to get rid of them? To be honest, I was quite happy to left it. It didn't mean much in the end. It was just all wishy-washy stuff. It wasn't much, it was holding much value. So, yeah, it is what it was. And for me now, it's just time to move on and not worry about that sort of stuff anymore, because I'm a different person. I do different things in my life now, and I've gone from leaving college feeling a lot more happier. As my confidence is still growing. Trust in people hasn't really grown massively. But yeah, that's what happened to college to me. That's to not have trust in people anymore. It's just kind of wrecked the whole experience of that. But I thought sharing this little bit with you, because when you're going out to the real world, working or doing volunteers for someone, they might not be nice people, but I do volunteer for with someone at the moment, with Heather. She's a lovely lady, but if you don't have a nice person when you're first going there to doing voluntary, and all they do is try and turn you away from it, you know when you're not wanted. That's a simple way to look at it. You know, it's a shame in a lot of ways, because it means they're not going to get what they want. All they're going to do is just turn people away, because potential things will come in from it, like work for the new people, and then they get paid for it. You don't get much paid for most workplaces now, but what we are doing now, I should start yammering on, because 44 minutes already, so we should hopefully be ready finished by 11:30 at the earliest. So between 11 o'clock, it should be around 11 to 11:30, it should be ready by a long way, hopefully. Assuming there's not anything else happens between now and then. I guess I'll connect the trains, because they're not really needed at the moment. So mine will be moved as well, so that's why I'm going to move her first, because the sideline is quite heavy. It's a proper proper business soldering iron, because It's very heavy, very chunky. And it does a reasonable amount of stuff for you, what it does. It does quite well for what it is. And obviously in this area where I'm just about doing work around this area, I've got to glue down the right around to this section of here where the fencing is, and I've got to put a spot of glue just down there to connect to it. Again, personal advice for hot glue guns or soldering lines, please be careful. Okay, I had my skin removed from these things. These are a few times since I had them, or probably several times. Since I had experience from them from school, college, and obviously other places over the years. I just not had the best experience with some of these things. And obviously, yeah, of course, before I all did this before, well, most of this lifetime and, well, most of this life through 2020 or before, it was all different. This year was just different in weird ways for the virus and everything else. So I let it settle in, and then once the fences started to settle in, we can start to work on the hillside between the actual yard and the area for the loco. Well, between the lines and the actual field yard for the cars, buses, trucks, things like that. And I do have own a few trucks myself, but just trying to hold them in place at the moment just to let the glue gun settle in. I can re-glue it later on, but I've got a solid iron right next to me, but it doesn't get hot unless you're pressing the button while you're holding it, which is pretty good in that way, because the idea of touching it when it's really hot is a great way to lose your skin again. So don't do that unless you're asking for trouble. I'm trying to learn from some of my mistakes. Most of my mistakes are not always worth looking back on, because sometimes they weren't the best to look back on in the first place. But other times, sometimes, yeah. It's all dependent on those past problems that make the present make a lot more, well, saves their money. But in the telephone box, I'm not going to worry too much where it is, because obviously in time that's going to change, because obviously we're going to have some trees over the back here.